Welcome, Hearties. This is Heart to Hearties. My name is Chelsea. I'm from Puerto Rico, and I am super excited, and I'm happy to be joined today by one of my friends.
I'm Marg, and I am from not so sunny, a little bit cloudy and rainy, San Diego, California.
And so today is Groundhog's Day, and we are with two of our favorite people from One Calls the Heart, Amanda Wong and Ben Rosenbaum. Yay!
Hi. Oh, look at that. There's my shadow. Great.
So we're all set, Phil. Thank
I
you.
think that means winter's over.
Good. You're in such a beautiful setting there. Where are you?
We are here together in Vancouver, BC, which should be as rainy as Southern California is right now. But luckily for us, we've got a little bit of a dry spell here.
What a beautiful day behind you.
Nice.
Very way up high. I love it.
Way up high. And if you hear any crunching or tic-tacking around on the floor during this, it would be because Willoughby is about. He's
very good.
Off camera. But
so it's not Scotty Phil.
Right,
it is Willoughby.
Yeah.
Yes, to clarify.
Love it. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time during the off season. We missed getting to talk to you, when the strike was ongoing, and we didn't get quite as much, interaction as we usually do. So thank you for doing
it too. We're used to much more fan engagement on Twitter and with these interviews and getting a chance to connect a bit more. So it's nice to get back to this.
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you. So you're getting some time off, presumably. Tell us what an ideal day might look like in the off season. Either of you.
I mean, even today looks like a very ideal day to me. I get to hang out with my friends here, all four of us, and I'm going to see my family later, and that's kind of just what an ideal day looks like for me.
Amanda is being very generous to me right now because she just came over and was doing yeoman's work helping me with an audition. She was a reader. She was wrangling Willoughby. She even took him out for a little walk while I got us set up for this interview. So she's putting in a lot of work for an ideal day.
Oh no, it's been great. Honestly, been like no problems at all, and I love your dog, obviously. So.
Well, Willoughby's wonderful.
Ideal day though.
Okay, yes. Sorry, I got lost in his eyes. Ideal day includes Willoughby.
He is very cute.
He's just so cute. These days, an ideal day does include a lot of Willoughby time. He and I like to wake up late together and then get outside for a stroll, grab a tasty breakfast or brunch, a coffee, have a nice relaxing day, maybe get to the gym, and then kind of veg out for a bit. That sounds great to me.
I love it. It. It's cool.
Sweatpants. That would be the ideal.
Sweatpants day. That does it for you. Is that what you said?
Yeah, sweatpants.
So when you do these auditions, is it, we're all formal on the top, but there's sweatpants on the bottom? Is that what
That's I can either confirm or deny.
Okay, all right. Okay,
that has happened many times.
Yeah, well, that's the Zoom thing. Always. Well, cool. Hopefully you're having a lot of those ideal days.
Actually, he's wearing some pants right now, actually.
No, ironically, ironically, it's the opposite right now. I was wearing a suit for the audition. I changed into a t-shirt for the interview, but I left my suit pants on.
That's hilarious.
So I flipped it.
Well, one way or another, it's all good.
Changing it up.
Exactly.
Cool.
It's the reverse bullet. It's party up top.
Yeah. Right. I couldn't come up with the metaphor, so that's awesome. All right, and do we have a Stanley cup? Are we drinking from a Stanley cup?
It's pretty similar. It fits into my cup holder.
This is the cup holder.
Yeah, it's great. It's
hilarious.
I don't know what volume is on this, but it's excellent because it stays hot.
I love it. Beautiful.
I've just got a little guy, just a little baby one.
How to dwarfs yours, theirs. All right, so we have a season 11 debut date, which is Crazy how exciting. April 7th coming up so fast. And that is the shortest span between seasons I think we've ever had. So
That's the silver lining of the later airing of
yeah,
season.
right. Exactly. So of course we want to dive into all of the possibilities that might include for both of you in season 11, but we have a lot of questions from season 10 that we didn't get to cover. So Karen Jatana of Ohio asked, what was your favorite season 10 scene to film and why?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I really liked filming the scene with Kayla for the surprise the bridal shower. I thought that was super fun when we're like sneaking around and yeah, I don't know. I just had a lot of fun with that one and like trying to get Pascal's cucumbers on her eyes and then we're all like with Aaron and the when we're trying to sneak past.
It was adorable.
I don't know how to describe it. It was so cute.
That cut together so well. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't actually seen any of that done. That was really fun. Yeah, the sneaking through the town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
your physicality was it was darling. It was hilarious.
Yes.
Thank you. It was super fun. And it just kind of oddly, Kayla and my actions, we started just doing the same things at the same time. And then we're trying to not do the same things at each other. And then it became the same. Anyway, it was really funny and really enjoyable. What was yours?
I thank you for the time to think about it. I really enjoyed the infirmary scene or the doctor's office scene where Hickam gets pulled in, the jacket thrown on, and is suddenly pretending to be the town doctor.
Yes.
And Amanda came in at the end of that as well. So the whole, actually you bookended it. You were off the top of it and then at the end of it as well. So that was just that was a super fun scene.
It was a great little, well, both of those storylines were pretty ridiculously fun, but
yeah.
And you being yanked away from your ice cream cone and
I forgot about the ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The most disgusting eating of an ice cream cone ever to be seen on TV. I was horrified.
Now I have to go back and rewatch.
Oh no, don't do it. Save yourself.
Man, it feels like so long ago because when you said that doctor infirmary scene, I kind of forgot about it for a moment. And then it makes me think about
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, hey pal, thanks for joining us.
It makes me remember that we never talked about our first the mom, like the me like in the pharmacy. That happened last season as well.
Yeah, all the singing.
Yeah,
that was really fun actually. The whole storyline where Amanda and I got to like sing together was really fun, and I think like our experience together as actors doing that really like played well for the characters as well, because we both were like, you sing, right? Yeah, you too. Okay. Pretty confident. I think it'll go fine.
Yeah, we're like, hey, right?
It'll be great.
And we're like, we'll just ADR in the end. And we didn't even ADR any of that stuff. Yeah.
It was all live.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What was it?
It was though. It really was. You got so many compliments from the Hearties on how well your voices blended and
yeah, that was really nice. I mean, it's amazing how many people on the show can sing or are otherwise musically inclined. It really does. I'm glad that we got to start to scratch the surface of that with we've been doing more of that in the past couple seasons.
Totally.
Because there are some true talents on the show in terms of the singing.
Yes. No question. You guys are among them, definitely.
Speaking of true talents, did you guys see the video that Aaron had posted of Ben playing the harmonica?
How
yeah. It's
That's
on.
another one you can save yourself the trouble. All the instruments they've had me play on the show, and there have been many. I can't play any of them. And so it just sounds horrendous on the day.
And we have to all like
everybody has to pretend that it sounds.
Oh, now I'm remembering the one in the saloon. It was
that's the one.
Actually, I don't even know that made it into the final episode.
Oh, did it not?
Yeah.
Oh.
So Aaron posted a little behind the scenes of me coming up and joining the fiddlers, playing the harmonica, and it like the guys, the people on the stairs were like, come in, and I'm no better. It was just awful.
And it wasn't dusty inside.
Oh, it was like a genuine vintage harmonica that was like wood construction. It wasn't even metal, and they like did their best to sterilize it, but it tasted old. Old and musty. It was unpleasant.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's
Yeah.
wow.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah.
So we have another question from Marianne Klein of Jefferson City, Missouri. And she says that we have seen different sides to Mei. Confident pharmacist and horsewoman, and then a more tentative side.
Right.
As she was hesitant, to confront Mike about, getting mixed messages from him. So Amanda, tell us about Mei's layers. Like, is she capable of being like both confident and like tentative?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like in her work capacity and with her abilities, she feels very confident, but romantically, and don't we all kind of feel this way, where we can be like so secure in one direction of our lives and then just so at a loss with another. I think that's how Mei feels, and I mean, I feel that way sometimes as well. And
her romantic history is a bit traumatic as well.
Exactly. It's not even a once bitten, twice shy. It's like everybody not good, and
Yeah.
and
Just all the time bitten.
Yeah, every time bitten. And even when it comes to Mike, he like not on purpose, but it feels like she's like stood up and she feels rejected. So I mean, there's a lot of like trepidation there, and yeah, hopefully she doesn't feel that way in the future.
It's a very small town. It's a very small town. Those are big risks to take with
true.
friends in a small town.
Great point.
And everyone knows each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They're all up in your business. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Out of
Know
care.
everything.
Out of care, always in a
Yes.
Hope Valley way. Always
Yes.
in a Hope Valley way.
Yes.
Exactly.
So a similar question for you, Ben. So Barbara Laird of Exeter, Rhode Island, she asked, how do you go from shy potential date to friend to everyone to king of calisthenics? Like, how do you do that like so seamlessly?
Oh, well, thank you for the compliment and saying that it's all seamless. I feel like it's been a tremendous gift over the years that the writers continue to trust me with, putting Mike in different situations, and I enjoy exploring the moments where he's more confident and competent, and the moments where he is still the same old Mike who just gets in his own way or gets a little nervous or has that anxiety. And I feel like it's a really relatable quality. We're used to seeing a lot of portrayals of people in shows and movies who can kind of handle all of it. And Mike is one of those guys who I think is more like the rest of us who, yeah, we got some things, but yeah, similar to what you said, in other areas of life, not so much. And one of those areas has definitely been the romance department. I think women have always made Mike a little nervous. He's like, it's easy for him to be friends with women, but anything beyond that is like, he starts to get some cold feet. So I think the beauty of the way that Mike and Mei kind of started their romance together was through a situation where Mei was more nervous about the singing and Mike was more confident in that regard. And so it kind of allowed him to lead from a place of more confidence and kind of almost like trick himself into being more available to that romance.
Oh, that's cool. I hadn't thought of it that way. That's really neat.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I think that's, as we were reading it, I was like, oh, that's why this works. That's what it's like. He's he's always like fumbling over himself with the other women he's tried to talk to. But in this situation, it's like he's put in the position to lead Mei along through her nervousness and help her feel more confident.
Totally.
Well, you did.
I love that. It started with like encouragement, and like he's encouraging her and believing in her, you know, so that's really cool. Go ahead, Mark.
No worries. So you started at, early in the season with the hot springs. It looked like you were trying to pursue faith, perhaps.
Don't do this to me, Mark.
I'm sorry.
Don't do this to me. Don't make me
just a
answer.
moment. It's just a moment. It's a moment that cannot be ignored.
These decisions.
It was so good. Heather Hood of Minnesota said your reaction at the hot springs when you wanted to go on rounds with Faith might be the funniest moment of the season. And I'm right there with her. It was hysterical. So same with the slide to the floor with the flowers at the bar. She says perfection. She wondered how much is scripted and how much is all you.
That's very sweet. It's if you had asked me about most other moments in the season, I would have told you it's scripted. Our writers are tremendous and give us all the great stuff to work on. Those two moments in particular did include a little improv or ad-libbing.
Wow.
So that moment at the hot springs, over the years, the directors who we've worked with multiple times have started to give me a little longer of a leash and a little more time before they say cut, and I get opportunities to add in a little bit of something myself. And that one at the hot springs was a moment that just worked because everybody in the scene was game and right on it. So and then the other thing with the sliding down behind the bar, it was originally scripted that I duck behind a pillar. And in the setup, as the director was setting up the camera and everything, it just we weren't going to be able to convincingly get me behind a pillar. There wasn't a right moment for it. And so then, it's just figure out what works. And in that moment, it was the slide down behind the bar.
That is so cool. Well,
Yeah.
Heather
So nailed kind of like
finding
figuring
two
it out.
improv moments. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, obviously you have to feel comfortable as part of a team bringing your ideas forward. And it sounds like you're being appreciated and that's really cool.
So much collaboration throughout the process. And that's really one of I think the true beauties of working on a show for so long and working with the same people over and over again is that there's a true comfort level, and people show up ready to play. And so it's a lot of fun. And I'm very lucky that I in particular get to be in a lot of those scenes where it invites a little more playfulness.
Yeah.
Jumping ahead a little bit, speaking of an improv line, one of the fans' favorite lines that you had is your voice is my favorite sound, and actually Ben wrote that, or he
that is also
really
oh my gosh, wow. Well, we are totally going to get to that. That was beautiful. Really nice.
Thank you very much. This is too much, you guys.
Yeah, well, it's your lucky day. It's your lucky day. We're focused on you.
I want to adjust my answer to my ideal day. It's a lot of this. This is great.
Okay, good. Words of affirmation are your love language. We love it. Right. Cool. So Pia Sprague of Walnut Creek, California says she loved and very much related to Mei's storyline about finding her grandmother's journal and wanting to connect to her roots. So tell us about that, how you approach that scene. It was an incredible scene. You and Kayla did such a great job. Talk to us about that.
With that one, I've been thinking a little bit about that scene, and I think that everyone has felt at times like not blank enough. It could be not sporty enough, not smart enough, not feminine, not masculine enough, not tall enough. It's just, everyone has felt that at some point in life, and sometimes when it comes to like something where you're supposed to be an expert in, you might be further along than you think personally. Like, when you're in school and you learn to play the recorder and your mom is like, now show your family. And you're like, you're like playing hot cross buns or something.
In front of the entire cast and crew.
Exactly. But then, at some point you get to being okay at it, or like the violin or the piano or something. But then compared to other people, you don't really feel like you're good at it.
I just wanted to see you continue miming different instruments as you
all of
the
them.
guitar, the accordion, the harp.
Yeah, exactly. Drums, start doing all of them. But and so I think that oftentimes when we're looking at people who are experts and we're asked to demonstrate something, then sometimes we feel like we can't accurately or do it justice to the people who are actually good at something.
Yeah, when you compare yourself to somebody who's further along, you can feel inadequate, even though you're in the perfect place for who you are and where you are right now.
Totally. And even when it comes to this show, I am an Asian woman, but sometimes I'm like, they'll be like, oh, what do you think of this? And I'll always be like, well, I think this, but don't rely on just me. Maybe you can get a second opinion.
And I think for an entire,
exactly. And
diverse group of people. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I really want to do it justice, especially for our fans who watch that are Asian or know Asian people, and Pia, very lovely, met. Pia is wonderful. And I know that the storyline resonates with so many people. And I think that I feel such a responsibility to do it justice. And it's that whole, like, looking at people who may be more have more expertise than me and thinking that maybe someone else should be the one doing it. And I think that that's kind of how Mei feels a little bit too when it comes to reading her grandmother's journals, and she can read the language, so clearly she's not completely oblivious to the culture,
right?
But she still feels like it's maybe not enough. And I think in those moments, what's really needed is the support of the people around you, be it friends, and in Hope Valley, it's Fiona, but then also in life, then it's like all the castmates and the fans that watch that really do like make me feel like even if I were to make a mistake, it's okay. And I think that that's like where when experience doesn't meet I guess the level that I want it to be, then there's some grace, and that only comes from the support of those around you.
That's beautiful. Remind me who directed that scene, if you could remember.
I think it's Neil, but I
can't even remember what episode.
Okay, I think we talked. It probably was Neil, because I think we talked to him. I just thought it was the action in that scene, the opening up of the sodas and everything, that it just so echoed the opening up that was happening. And it was just it just was really beautifully done. I thought it was a special moment. So
and very natural.
Very natural. Yeah. And it could have, come out of nowhere, but it felt very rooted. So cool. Hopefully we get to see more of her herbal apothecary things happening. Okay, we're hoping that's coming in season 11.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Keep doing the eyebrows.
Yeah. And so speaking of like season 11, so one of the things we learned when we talked to Lindsay Sturman and some of the writers this season was how storylines can change, like even when the season is like filming. So when the writers saw the dailies, they immediately like felt this chemistry between like Mike and Mei. Like we wonder if like you all like sensed that in like the first scenes that you have together.
Okay, our first scene, I think it was when I came down the stairs. You didn't notice me because Kevin or Mountie Grant did. That was
our
first
literal first scene together.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then we didn't really interact with each other at all.
Well, my job in that scene was not to really notice you at all.
Yeah.
So I can't claim to have felt a spark.
Yeah.
But it's also, you know, speaking of storylines changing as we go along, that's a lot of what has happened with some of the romances we expected to have versus the people that we end up with. You know, we end up following these twists and turns almost like the audience does. We just do it at the script level versus watching it on the show. And so, you know, I had a conversation with Lindsay at one point where I was like, okay, so it seems like Mike is really into Faith now. And she was like, yep, totally. And I was like, great, so green light to really play those feelings. And she was like, absolutely. And then
Hot springs.
Yeah. So we get to the hot springs. And then it's like, you know, whether it's at the network level or like the writers are saying that they see a spark on screen from another scene that maybe that gave them the idea that it would be us, you know, then we find ourselves like, oh, okay, now we got to transition and find a way to make it honest and fair for the character, that now you've got something more of a spark or a connection or something going with somebody else. And so my honest answer is I don't know that we're always aware of what they're seeing on camera, because we think we're meant to be playing something else potentially. You know, that's not true all the time. The writers have a really good sense of where things are going in general, but I think it's wonderful that they leave room for that inspiration and trust us to be able to make those pivots and turns with them when they are ready to, you know, take us in a new direction. I think that's part of what keeps the show fresh and interesting and fun, is that like life, you know, when we've been doing it for 11 years, some relationships take off and they're strong and they go forever, like you know, Rosemary and Lee. And other people are just finding their footing, and they give it a shot, and Mike has given it a shot a few times.
Yes.
So I guess short answer is no.
Didn't necessarily feel that kismet happening when you were singing together.
Oh yes, by that time. By that time.
Okay.
By that moment, it definitely felt special. And there is something, I mean, like I wouldn't have necessarily anticipated it this way, but two people standing alone in a room singing to each other is like fairly intimate. Like it feels, on an emotional level, it just feels like you're really making yourself vulnerable. Especially because it was like some coaxing and making sure that Mei felt comfortable. It took a reaching out on Mike's part and a trusting on Mei's part. And so by that point, honestly, that was like one of the most romantic scenes that I've ever done. And there was no explicit romance in it. It just felt very connected and a vulnerability with each other that I thought was really sweet.
Oh, that's nice. I love that.
So short answer, yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Just so you know, we discovered this with Kevin. Zoom has some weird feature that when you go like this, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it it triggers like
a balloon type thing.
Like a little balloon that came up. So when you went like this, a balloon with the thumbs up pretty much obscured Amanda's head. So yeah. So I don't know why. I can't get it to do it now to save my
yeah, it doesn't. It's so weird that it's not happening now, but it does.
What was the other one that Kevin did too? There were two of them during his talk.
I know that one is like thumbs up and then thumbs down.
Yeah, I don't know. We can't to save our life now. We can't get it to do it, but for whatever reason, when you see it, it's not that we added
lines.
Right. Added after the fact. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, too funny. All right.
So we have another like compliment for you both right now. So Kathy Austin of Monroe, North Carolina, she says your voices blend beautifully. Tell us about filming your singing scenes, and will we see Mike and Mei perform together in season 11?
Ooh.
I feel like that's something we can. I feel like that's something we can say. That I mean, like, yes, we
I'm just
don't.
kidding. We introduced some musical talent, and we can maybe assume that maybe some will continue a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, like that was kind of it in terms of like the big duets. Well, we sing together in the choir, and we
Okay.
we have scenes together, but we don't
Yeah.
continue to be like the
singing
town's
duo.
standout singers. That was
You're not going to reprise the Bumblebee song.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that Bumblebee song. And then
That one gets stuck in your head too. The whole crew was like, "Oh no."
Yeah. Yeah, that one was definitely that sticks. But
Okay, we heard you didn't have to do ADR, but so that was all live?
Yeah, yes and no. I think there was a little bit of like I did end up singing parts of it in ADR. No, not the Bumblebee.
Oh yeah, the duet one, right?
The duet with the whole choir.
Yeah.
Because I think in terms of making all the voices at the proper levels and blend together, they needed to like tune some things up, but or change some levels or something. Because Amanda was way out of tune. No, I'm kidding.
Well, weren't you supposed to be in the beginning? Weren't you guys supposed to be out of tune?
We were supposed to be out of tune.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There was a lot of fun in the choir scenes because there was we actually had to make an effort where they would be like, no, you guys have to be bad in this one.
Yeah.
So guys, we just were too good, you guys. But it was the scenes where like the whole choir is supposed to be way out of tune and singing out of sync with each other, and it's challenging to intentionally screw up a song. And so then it was nice when we finally got to the point where we were allowed to sing a little better.
Yeah. We had to deliberately choose like a word to go off key on. I think that's what we had to do.
Yeah. I had some notes on some of the sheet music that was like, wait here, come in late, loud, too loud.
Yes, planning the whole thing.
And all of it is all of that stuff, us sounding good, together, thank you, and everything coming together, whether it's live or ADR, is thanks to our music director John, who does
John's great.
All the music he's done for the show has been incredible. I mean, whether it's the stuff that is really overt, like us singing on screen together, or whether it's just the music that plays underneath in scenes that really boosts everything and gives it that emotional core. I think John has just been a truly unsung hero of the show for years, has just been doing incredible work. So we're very, very lucky to have him, and he was wonderful working with us on the singing. And I mean, he had individually worked with each of us, getting us ready for the song, and then afterwards helping us out in the mix and everything, making sure we sounded as we were supposed to. So that was it truly is all due to John in the end.
Absolutely. Ditto.
He wasn't on set with you that day, was he?
No, he works from afar because he's got a lot of stuff going on. Beyond working with us, he's composing the whole show. So yeah, he's working in a studio at home, and then we would zoom in with him occasionally.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, we had him as a guest at HFR on Friday night this year, and that was a treat to really hear about his process. And yeah, and we try to call him out as often as we can on Heart to Hearties when we do our episode recaps, because you're absolutely right. It just adds so much, particularly the
theme song. Gets me every time.
Little tear.
Good theme song. Yeah.
No, it's true though. Sometimes we do a scene and without the music, it feels one way, and then with the music, we're like, oh wow, like it feels like the tone just changed.
It is fun to watch when it airs, and we all get to see it the way that you guys it is fun to see it all come together like that.
Absolutely.
So it is mind-blowing to think that we've spent 10 seasons, soon to be 11, with Mike Hickam. Ben, did you ever imagine that he would become so central to the town?
I mean, of course, I always thought Mike Hickam was very central to the town.
Yes.
I mean, that new sign at the Mercantile wasn't going to hang itself. So
Right.
it's always been pretty important from my perspective.
Indeed he is. Indeed he is.
But no, it's been a joyful experience to see Mike grow and change over the years, and with different showrunners at different times, having, there are different aspects of Mike's character that showrunners kind of enjoy more. And so in different seasons, I feel like I get to play things a little differently going around. And my job is to try to keep it all coherent throughout, and make sure he's the same guy even when he's growing and changing. And I feel like that I have really enjoyed that challenge. Again, I feel like there are a lot of characters on a lot of shows that once they kind of settle into who this person is, they don't necessarily get to transform at all. And I feel like Mike has been on a steady cycle, or a steady growth. A long sustained growth spurt throughout the 10 years, and it's been really fun. It's been really fun to kind of build up different aspects of his character over time.
Yeah, I mean, to even have 10 years on a series, first of all, and then to have a trajectory where you continue to grow over 10 years. And seasons. I mean, what a gift. It's phenomenal. Yeah. But you also have to do something with that gift, so, which you very clearly have. So amazing.
Thank you.
Amanda, we hope we're gonna, be well into the 20th and beyond season.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Let's go.
To extend your tenure.
Untitled the Heart season 55.
Indeed. Exactly right. But Nikki Pavic, Brooklyn, Ontario, asks.
It's not popping up for me automatically.
Nothing. I got nothing. I got nothing after I told you about this. Nothing is happening.
Nothing.
So Amanda, what would you say has been the most rewarding aspect or experience on When Calls the Heart for you so far?
I feel like a broken record saying this, but just like the community, everyone is just, the fans are so lovely. My friends on the show are all about my friends.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible not to feel
exactly
that way. It's such a good group of people. The fans and the cast and crew. It really, that is like absolutely the best part for sure.
And I hear it's really rare too to have like everyone just enjoy being with each other and get along so well. And I do think it's largely to do with Erin. She's created this just this energy that's sustained, and there's just like a lot of love, and just we're led by her at work, and then she also brings us together outside of work. It's just I'm just so lucky.
A big responsibility, the top of the call list. And I don't know if you came up through theater, but I always observed that with my kids in theater over the years, that person sets the tone. And so that's beautiful.
100%.
Yeah, really beautiful. But still, I do hear that it can be, more strife filled elsewhere. So it's always good to appreciate that happens, and to feel a part of a community, and to, I mean, you're now going into your 4th season or 5th?
The 4th now.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Been around longer than that.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and I feel like the connection that you guys have, in real life, and the relationships that you have, it shows on screen, like it's the authenticity of it. So yeah, it's very noticeable, and personally that's one of my favorite things, of how authentic it is because of that connection that you guys already have, like the whole cast. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Well, it certainly, requires less acting when we're already all friends.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah. So going back to your voice is my favorite sound declaration. So Susan Marquand of Hammond, Wisconsin, she says, Ben, you nailed that declaration. Like it was beyond sweet. She wonders if there's any chance of either Mei or Mike's family visiting them in season 11.
Ooh.
Well, that's a very fun question.
How many sisters do you have?
5.
A lot.
5, 6, 5.
I think 5.
You remembered all their names at one point.
I did. At one point, I was listing them off, all the M names. Well, anyways, it's a question that I don't feel like we can answer, and I guess that's a bit of a hint.
Wow.
Think about May's family yet, so who knows? Maybe she's got a lot of brothers that have M names. That'd be
7 brides and 7 brothers. It's there's a musical.
What are you trying to say, Mark?
I don't know. I'm just saying, if people come together, it'd be fun. I love it.
So we have a question from Shihani Krishnaratne from Newport News, Virginia, and she thinks that Mike and Mei make a very sweet pairing, and she asks, "Is more romance in your future?"
Well, I just feel like I've got to. Every single one of these questions I need to answer with a thank you first, because they are so complimentary and sweet. And that's another one that I don't really feel like we can answer, which is again a bit of a hint. Like my hands are tied. I gotta give the hint.
I have no idea what I'm allowed to say and what I can't say, so I'm just like saying nothing.
Well, but I would say in season 11, Mei and Hickam continue together. In my mind, I was like nailing it, and then I looked at your face, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't do well at all. I did very poorly on that answer."
I just don't know, what the rules are.
This is the problem. I was about to say like, "Oh, they pick up right where they left off," but it's actually like some months have passed.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of season 11, time.
That's certainly something Hearties are wondering about, is the time.
Time has passed at the beginning of season 11.
Right. I think between all seasons, it's several months, like with Rosemary, there's he's about to give birth, and I think it's like 3.
Yeah.
This season, it's like 3.
And it used to be even a little more confusing because
the seasons change.
Well, not just that, but we used to do the Christmas specials.
Right.
And those were sort of like standalone, but they also had to fit into kind of generally the timeline.
Connect somehow.
And so then okay, so all right, so months have passed because we celebrated Christmas, but then we had to get back into spring, and there's no more snow on the ground. So where are we starting? So it's all those sorts of considerations that the production team and the writers have to work together to figure out how we're going to make it all make sense. And, my hat's off to them. That's a lot to keep track of.
I don't know what happens with us, but let's just say they did go on that date that they were meant to go on in the off season.
Did you say you
I do know. I personally do know, but I don't
think they're going to buy that. I don't know. I don't know what happens.
We did go on that date in the off season. Let's just say that.
So we wanted to see that date. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to hear about it later, hopefully.
No, I think great.
You're gonna cover my face every time you do this.
So Amanda, Hearties loved having you at your first, Hearties family reunion this fall. So what was that like for you? How was that experience?
Oh was so much fun. I wasn't, you know what, I was actually ruminating on it after the fact, and I was like, man, I should not have cracked my shoulders in front of everyone.
No, you shouldn't. You should never do that ever again.
I honestly do that so frequently, and I
That was
don't.
like your stupid human trick or something. I can't remember what.
Yeah. It was like, what's
Part of the
something we
game.
don't know about you?
Oh,
And
yeah.
and I thought, yeah.
She does do it absentmindedly all the time.
I do it a lot, and oh God. And then I would think about it after and was like, was that the right thing to do? And then, you know, when you think about something at night and then it just like keeps you up. That's what it was.
Yeah, just like the overthinking. Yeah.
I shouldn't have cracked my shoulders.
Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah,
what was
right.
going on in my mind.
Yes.
Also, Ben and I were matching that day, but completely by accident.
That's true, yeah.
Our shirts and
A little bit of a similar kind of polka dot kind of thing
Yeah.
going on.
But you know what's so lovely? Ben and I actually match a lot. Like sometimes we'll randomly wear
Does
the
happen.
same glasses. Yeah, it's
Similar
really nice.
styles.
Yeah, we do have similar styles.
It would
But-
be, this would be more convincing right now if we were in
Exactly.
any way matching.
Totally
Yeah.
saw what I was wearing before while I was walking
True.
your dog.
I
You
could have
could've
changed
worn
into a blue
shirt.
dress.
Come on.
We
Come on.
would've-
Work with me.
Exactly.
Party upstairs. Come on. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Love
we
it.
did not agree that if ever someone asks what number we're thinking of, 1 to 10, it would be 4.
Three.
We didn't do
Pretty
it.
close.
We were close. But the Hearties family reunion was lovely. It was my first time doing anything like that, and it was so great. And it was so nice to also put faces to the, you know, the tweets that we often see. And
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
it was really, really nice. And to be able to share the stage with my friends and also I just felt so proud when parts of them that I love and I see all the time gets like exposed to more people. It's so nice, right? Don't you think? And like when Natasha like got to sing a little bit, she's just such an amazing singer too. And I just want,
Oh, she's incredible.
yeah, I want everyone to see what it is that I see of the people next to me. And so it just fills me with joy when I see those like,
I think you did a great
Thanks.
job.
oh, thanks.
Yeah.
You too.
I personally didn't enjoy the shoulder crack, but I thought it was the right thing to do in that moment.
I don't know. I've been thinking about it for months.
I learned so much about Hrothgar that day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
so funny. I
Right.
really,
We've never interviewed him, of course, and it was just fun how the game brought out, you know, fun facts about his collection.
Yeah.
And, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
Hrothgar is a man of so many random surprises, would you say?
Oh, he's multifaceted for sure.
Yeah. He's so agile. I don't know what he was doing one time. He was like balancing a chair on his chin once, and he like jumped over this large puddle in the rain. Did
Oh,
you
yeah.
know that?
No, he's spry. He is a very athletic, like very funny,
Mhm.
quick, energetic, silly, goofy. Like he doesn't get to put all of that into Ned
Right.
Yost. He's-
Yes.
Yeah, he's a delight on set and in the green room. He's
Yeah.
an endless source of fun.
Uh-huh. Mhm.
Too cool. Too cool. Well,
And it
so
reminds
what
us
you were
how fortunate we are all the time. You know, he just always is super grateful and he
Oh yeah,
his
happy to be
energy-
there.
always happy and his energy also just really rubs off on everyone too. And
Right.
there's one time he's like, man, I'm cold, and we're like, what is happening? This is the first complaint. You were the one who called him out on that too. Really?
It was like the first time we'd ever heard him complain in like 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that sounds right.
Yeah, and then you said something like, man, I'm just so happy to be here. And I'm like, is Rob coming? You know, swap. And just, yeah.
personality swap for the day. I love it.
Yeah. It's just really nice.
Well, Ben, can we count on you being back with us on X and Twitter, both of you back with us this year? Because we really missed you all during the strike.
You are
Yeah.
the best tweeter.
Oh my gosh.
Your tweets are
Oh
so
my
funny,
gosh.
don't you think? Like all the
So much
gifs.
fun.
So
You in your
powerful.
own right provide us some amazing content too, Amanda. But Ben,
me.
yeah,
Thanks.
totally.
Well,
I mean,
I'll
yes,
have
but
to
Ben, you too.
kick some of the rust off. The dust off?
Yeah.
Rust and the dust is gonna have to come off. But yes, I expect Twitter
Good.
X,
Okay.
Twitter,
We'll be
whatever
there.
it is
whatever name it has will
That's
be.
the place to be.
And including all the GIFs, all the GIFs. I don't know how it's pronounced.
GIFs, X, Twitter, whatever they're all called. It's all gonna happen.
All the names.
Yeah, love it. Fabulous. To close us out on this Groundhog's Day, have you guys both seen the movie with Bill Murray and Andy McDowell? Famous Groundhog's movie. Okay. If there's any event or
Sneak by without having to admit that you haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
Trailer.
You got all quiet.
Oh my gosh. No?
You call me on these things. Yeah,
She's missing some classics in her.
No.
Okay. That one I would recommend. Definitely.
Okay, I will watch it.
But you know the premise, right?
The premise, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you see them do a day over and over and over again. So maybe this is a little similar to your ideal day, but let's pretend we didn't ask that. What would you like to live repeatedly? What would be a moment or a scene in your life that you would like to play over and over and over?
Ironic that we were having a repeated sort of question. In
No, that was intentional. Very intentional.
Wait a minute. Are we?
Yeah. This is Ben's ideal day, and I'm just living in it over and over again.
Go for it. You answer.
I don't know. I feel like this question is so hard because I'm like, okay, what is a moment that I was like so like I want to encapsulate all of human emotions into one moment, right? Because I'm going to relive it over and over again.
That sounds exhausting.
I know. And then I was thinking, it goes away. And then I was thinking, okay, well, when was I really happy? And I'm like, but then some people were missing. So then I'd want everyone together
to be in that moment.
Oh yeah.
And so then I'm like thinking, man, if I were to have one moment or event, I'd probably want it to be in the future where I'm like, okay, I'm going to book out Disneyland, everyone show up, and I could relive that day over and over again. All my family and my friends are there, and then we just do different rides, different, string theory-esque things. Wouldn't that be fun?
Sure.
It'd have to be somewhere where a lot of variation could happen.
I see.
Yeah,
this is a perfect example of the kind of thought and planning that Amanda puts into things. And I just she'll get on a roll and I just stand back and marvel because I'm like the distance into the future and the number of branches and then all the considerations. It is
it's right there.
Impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah, ditto. I mean, what she said sounds great. Have all your people together in a place that offers a lot
unlimited
of variation.
fun, change. Yeah.
Fun. Yeah.
I feel like I mean, not to get too into the movie itself,
Don't spoil it for me.
Well, I don't think it'll shock you that the protagonist needs to discover a change within himself to kind of break the spell.
Oh.
And so well, not a spell, but it's to get out of the loop.
Okay.
And so if everything's perfect, I guess there's no change. You can't.
That's why you have all the variation and then see which one you like best.
How fun is this answer for everybody? We're getting really into the weeds. We're not giving a clear, concise answer of any kind.
I'm right there with you.
At what point would we start to resort to crime?
Oh my goodness! This is what I'm saying. She'll lead you down an unexpected path.
Yeah.
But actually, that occurs in the movie. That totally, you called it. I believe it does occur. It gets crazier and crazier. The more, yes, of course.
Yeah.
I think you've seen into that future.
That he tries to crash his car or something. Is that what happens?
Yeah, he tries everything to get out of there.
Yeah, I definitely thought that too. I'm like, okay, well, if I were on a ride, what if I would just jump off or something and then no consequences, right?
You start the day over.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, Amanda's figured it all out, so I feel like I'll just
did the thinking for you on it. Yeah.
That is the answer. All friends and family, we book it out, unlimited tokens.
Well, it's a little more sophisticated than that these days. They don't really
oh my gosh, unlimited tokens. I know that. That's a throwback.
All the junk food, no consequences. This is great.
Super good. Super good. Well, this is like bringing it to a different place, but just talking as you were about that feeling of not being enough or whatever, is there a moment that you can recall that you really felt filled up and like, I am enough, like I've risen to that? Like that might be one to repeat, a moment to repeat in your life.
I think those moments are I don't mean this in like a downer way, but they're rare because they're noticeable and special because you when you have those moments you realize like really,
but it can be filled up with love from your family and your friends and your community. Be all of those things, but
I think the first thing I thought was when that happens, I get that from acting. When I've really enjoyed a scene and the collaboration is there and it feels like everybody's present and in the moment and you really nail something, it doesn't have to be a hugely emotional scene. It can, if you get a comedic beat that cracks everybody up or discover something new that you bring to the scene and you're really connected with your scene partner, like those things are such wonderful, fulfilling moments. I mean, that definitely is like the best part of acting. Like that's the joy of it for me, are those experiences. And it's not every day, and that's why it's a profession that you have to kind of just hone your craft and be able to show up and do it even when it doesn't all feel like magic. But those magic moments really, really are incredible.
I love that.
Yeah, agreed. I think that there's a moment in season 11 that when we're filming, I felt very full. And I don't know that when you just asked the reliving kind of question, I don't know if I would want to relive it all the time, but I definitely want to asterisk it in my life as one to think fondly of again. Because I definitely felt super full and happy and grateful, and just like for one moment, like I'm meant to be where I am. And it's not that I feel like, oh, I have come and I'm showing up. It's just like everything feels very just like right for one moment.
Will we recognize when we see that moment? Do you think
which one it is?
I want you to tell me, confirm it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we recognize when that moment is, do you think?
I don't know, because I think it was like how I was feeling inside, and it wasn't necessarily like a Mei felt this way. It was like Amanda felt this way.
We'll come back in season 11 and
yes.
Yes, maybe. I have no idea. I don't even.
This is what it's like hanging out with us all the time. It's like we're inherently honest and overthink things, and so like you'll ask you're like, you know what, I didn't think about it from that angle. I'll have to give it.
We think very like kind of quite similarly in a lot of ways. And I think that's why we both get into these things, especially together. It's nice.
Well, we'll circle back after season 11 or mid-season 11, hopefully this time, and you guys can share a little.
It's like, that was the scene. That was the moment.
I try to find it.
Or just tweet, guys, that was it. That was the moment.
That was it.
That was it. Yeah. So Ben, Amanda, thank you both so much for chatting with us today. We can't wait to see, what the future holds for Mike and Mei. Maybe some singing, romance. The bottom line is that we're excited and we're just so like pumped to watch season 11.
Thank you so much. Thank you both for your time and for all the fans for their great questions. And it's so nice to be back doing this with you again.
Also, Josie, I want to say one thing. You said one friend, and you said one. I'm joined with you said with a friend, Mark, and I was kind of like, what about us? In the very beginning. And I was like staying silent. So friends.
Now it's all the friends.
We are we're all friends. Yeah, it's just something that we tend to do, like with
No,
the
Jasmine, I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
She's right. We got to start over. We got to do the whole interview
Gotta
again.
change that
From the
intro.
top.
It's like with my friends.
But I'm glad, and I'm really happy for that you guys had us on, and we're always so filled with joy and gratitude to be able to be welcome in this community and to have these opportunities. So
And the whole conversation has been so riveting that Willoughby is now asleep.
he's completely asleep.
Sound asleep. I love it.
His head is on the table and
Yeah,
his body is
sound
on
asleep
my lap.
on Amanda's lap.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's just been super fun to see you guys together and to get a Willoughby sighting and to get that beautiful glimpse of Vancouver behind you. And we're grateful to you too, Hearties, for joining us. We only have a few weeks to go. April 7th, 8 o'clock Central on the Hallmark Channel. It's coming. So join us then, and join us, of course, on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single one of these chats. And we look forward to bringing you more Heart to Hearties.